and that's really the key. Is you can adjust it so the means are the same, but what's the best way of adjusting the distributions?
Yeah, I understand that. I just think that some of those methods change the relative weights within that factor.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
it gets into a whole, even if you're really upfront about what you've done, I think it gets into a whole question of, are you manipulating the data to try to get the answer that you want, and you need to be careful of that.
That's part of the reason
that's the question of the distribution. I mean, that's the thing where the relative weights are being lost. That's a distribution question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's part of the reason we're thinking about having this method applied to every single criteria by default. So that way you could not be accused of trying to manipulate the data. And I'm thinking about it more. I have a feeling that on the stream crossing data, the one that's the top outlier, the one that comes out to be 1, my bet is that it's a really small road segment, which is due to an anomaly of the road segment data themselves. And so my bet is that it's just a really small road segment that probably only has 1 stream crossing. But if it's only like 3 or 4 cells, then that 1 stream crossing ends up giving it a much higher value. So what it is 1 of the cells would be a stream crossing, and then 3 cells would not be. So it would be a value of 0.25, 1 over 4. And a lot of these other roads that maybe have 10 stream crossings, but they're over, a 1 mile long stretch or something like that, they're going to have a much smaller value because it's just a longer road. And so that's kind of an artifact of the road segmentation data. So I think that this is compensating for that. But I think Ann's point is a really good one, though, in the fact that there are going to be data sets out there that are justifiably skewed. Like there is going to be a full justification for having these really, really extreme values. So like just grabbing for an example is something like maybe endangered species protection. When it comes down to the California condor, there was only 12 left in the world at one point in time, and so maybe they did justify spending millions and millions of dollars on their recovery because there was only 12 left. And so I think in that case there's an example where the numbers actually don't lie, where there is this really big skew of number of individuals left towards number of dollars you need to spend on it. So I think this definitely needs some more thinking. We need to be critical about, is it justified to apply this across the board to every single criteria in order to be standardized, or is it more justified to actually have a nuanced look at every single criteria and figure out which normalization you're going to apply to each criteria, and then just have to defend the charge that's going to inevitably come, which is saying, hey, you're cooking the data to suit your needs. And you say, well, no, we're actually trying to make this as scientifically and sound as possible. So let's continue that theme of the discussion over the months, the months ahead.
Everyone for bearing with me, and I've gone back to the intro slide because if you have any further thoughts, please shoot me an email, and I'd be happy to discuss it more. And really, we're going to be working on this in the next couple months. So any food for thought that can really shape the way I address it would be helpful. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, and I'll since I have a feeling this recording is going to work well, and it takes a couple hours to actually record, and then I'll slice it up and post it as soon as possible. So when people have thoughts that go along with this conversation, I really encourage you to go ahead and go to the webinar page that has this that will have this video, and to add any comments or thoughts or add to the minutes. Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to post the video, which is the video and audio of our meeting, and I'll put I'll put it into the little different clips, but I won't actually be writing a whole bunch of notes on there. I probably won't write any notes. So if you want to actually write some of the important thoughts or themes or your concerns or ideas, that would be great if you wanted to do that. And if you want help figuring out how to log into the site to do all that, please just let me know. So good. Well, Jen, thanks for taking the time to prepare this and present this to everybody and looking into it. And I think that we all learned a lot from this presentation. Hopefully you got a lot out of the feedback from everybody. And thanks for your really cogent comments and everybody for participating. And yeah, so this is good. So we will go ahead and we're going to meet in 3 weeks. Please let me know what are some candidate topics for what we want to cover. I have a few ideas. And also be thinking about this idea of whether we want to push this back to once a month versus once every 2 weeks. So does anybody else have any thoughts or comments before we close? Okay.